he actually has a car-oriented company. You're going to learn more about that in a moment, but you're going to find out how he's using Instant Customer, formerly Monster Follow-Up, to actually build his business. So I want to thank you for being here. It turns out that you came to the studios today to do an interview with your other business, LA's The Place.
Right.
But you've got a really interesting story, and when Oliver told me about it, I mean, honestly, I had no idea how much you were using our tools until you shared it with me, and I heard it from Oliver. And I honestly, I didn't equate you with that. I was like, holy cow, the same Derek.
Yeah.
So why don't you just talk a little bit, first of all, about the main business, and then I know you've got a backstory statement too about just how you've been using Traffic Geyser. But this is you've got an amazing story about how, I mean, give me kind of the Tarantino, which is what's happened so far after you started using Instant Customer in terms of results, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
Well, basically, my business went from doing probably 40 to 45 million in sales per year. We're now doing 55 to 60 million per year. And the biggest and best decision I ever made was the former Monster Follow-Up, now the Instant Customer. And I call it the alarm clock. So every time we shoot out hundreds of texts, sometimes thousands, my phone will blaze to the point where we can't even get to all the phone lines. It's just, for 2 to 3 hours, it's out of control.
Okay. So I'll ask you more questions about how that works in a bit. So why don't you talk a little bit about what type of business you have? And I know we talked about this off camera, that I said it's up to you. I wasn't going to reveal the exact name of your company just because what has happened in the past is we have so many viewers who watch it, they end up going to your business site, and you'll get a bunch of bad leads. And I don't want to overwhelm your salespeople or you with people who are just checking you out and tire kicking. And just out of respect for Derek, that's something that we've actually had a problem in the past with some of our clients, let's say our Main Street Marketing Machines clients, who go out and I'll interview them, and what will happen is their clients always get a whole bunch of calls from our prospects, you, saying, hey, does this stuff work? And what happens is the customer is mad, our Main Streeter is mad, and then they're like, I was there to help, and so again, just out of respect for you.
Great.
But again, it's up to you as far as what you want to reveal. But again, just a little bit about what's the business.
Okay, the business model is we're an internet-based car buying service. Okay, so basically people
kind of like
similar to CarMax.
Okay.
Okay, people will go onto Google, Yahoo, Bing, type in any one of tens of thousands search variations: sell my Toyota Corolla, sell my Honda Civic, sell my truck, sell whatever. And we have 30 different websites. All the websites lead to one central database. Okay, so we started out, 10 plus years ago doing 10 to 20 cars a month. Then we built it to 100, then 200, then 300, then 400. We're currently doing 500 cars a month, which is huge. And really tracing back, the tipping point or the turning point in my business was getting involved with Traffic Geyser. So it was the video syndication process that drove the extra traffic to all my websites.
So you're basically making like mini car videos that were keyword loaded?
Hundreds of them. Yeah. Okay, so we've been pumping them out. I actually have 2 full-time people that do nothing but pump out videos. So that has actually worked phenomenal. The Instant Customer really pushed us in the last year and a half.
Okay.
So again,
how are you using it, and what's going on?
Okay, so what happens, here's what happens in my industry. People fill out a form, they submit a car they want to sell, goes into my database.
Yep.
We would then have to get in contact with the customer, which wasn't always immediate. So what we do now is the very second they click submit, a text goes right to their cell phone saying, your free quote is now ready. Call 800-946-7700. So boom, they press the button, and then off it comes to us. Okay. What that does in my industry, it prevents the back button syndrome, where they would hit the back button and go back and find a competitor and get a secondary quote.
Whoever gets the call first closes the deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genius.
Exactly. So the very second they get the text, okay, free quote is now ready, call this phone number. They're then calling us. Okay. Now, in my industry, you buy 1 out of 10 cars. 9 out of 10 people want too much money for their car, okay? But the longer they have the car, the price goes down and down and down.
Of course.
So we hit them with a series of follow-up texts. Have you sold your car your car yet? Please call this phone number. So we will trace them and follow them for 21 days. So
you're doing that with text only or with email also?
Text only.
Wow.
So we know when the text program goes out because, like I said, we will have every phone line lit up for 2 to 3 hours. So it's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. So the bottom line, I'm going to just repeat what I hear. So someone decides they want to sell their car. They come to your site, they enter some information, and they enter their name, email, phone number, and they immediately receive a text.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So then they can call in, and that's where you know they're a real versus a tire kicker, and it prevents them from going anywhere else.
Yes.
And then from then on, every so many number of days, they're going to get a text drip to them, which will basically have them respond. So eventually they're going to get a little more desperate, they're going to get a little more desperate, and you have a higher probability of closing the deal.
Exactly.
Okay. That's fantastic. So now that's really for the seller, though. That's someone who has a car and they want to sell it. Is that correct?
Right.
How about the reverse of that? How are you doing it, or are you doing it for buyers?
We don't do anything. We don't sell to the public. We buy wholesale from the public, and we sell to a dealer-only auto auction. So we buy wholesale, we sell wholesale.
Okay, so that's where the margin is for you.
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
Genius. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have you just repeat what you were doing before and after, and how much time. So and also how long it took to implement this whole thing.
Okay.
So when you started out, that was, you said, about 18 months ago, or how long was it when you just began? I mean, you had to have been one of our very first clients.
Instant customer. Actually, John Barrett, he was the first Traffic Geyser certified person. I'm sorry, Monster Follow-Up certified person. John has done work for me for probably 3.5, 4 years.
Very smart guy.
And he actually turned me on to Monster Follow-Up. He implemented the whole thing with Oliver. And it just took off like crazy. The first month, we had a little glitches. People were saying they got a text at 2 in the morning. And we had to go in and correct a couple things.
That was our fault.
But, after 30 days, it's just worked like clockwork. So, this whole thing has just launched my business. I'm killing the competition. And like you said, the key to business is getting the first phone call, treating the customer correctly. And most people are looking for the sale, but I have to think in reverse. Everything I do is the buy. So we're looking to buy something rather than sell something. So I have to kind of think in reverse to most people, but it's still the same process. So basically, the text program goes out, it prompts the person right away to call to get their fast, immediate quote, because I have learned that speed sells and slow does not sell.
That's money loves speed, is what Dan Kennedy always says.
Exactly.
I love
that. Yeah. So the faster we get the lead in, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes we can't buy the car right away. Okay. So then the text program, following the person for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they keep calling us back for an additional quote. So that's the amazing thing, because the longer they hang on to their used car, the less they want for the car, and eventually after 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, we buy the same car that they called 3 weeks earlier and they wanted $4,000 more. Okay, so it was a cat and mouse chase of my employees always trying to do follow-up. But this text program is like an alarm clock. It's an immediate, fast, right to their cell phone. They all have the cell phone, and then they pick up the phone and call. It's amazing.
Fantastic. It's genius. Okay. So you said that, how long did it take for John to set this up? In your case, you used one of our certified consultants and coaches. But you said you had some glitches at first. And that was frankly because 1.5 years ago we were still in beta and we're still figuring this thing out, and we definitely had some internal stuff. Now with the new Instant Customer, it's really a brand new system. It's built on the same technology, but the new feature set, which we'll reveal, we're revealing, is amazing. When you see all the new stuff we can do now, it'll blow your mind. But so from the time you said, I want this done, until you had your first version kind of up and running, how long did it take?
At that time, it was less than a week.
Okay, fantastic. And you saw results, cash improvement, changes in revenue, how quickly?
The same week.
Okay.
Same day, very first day.
Okay, that's fantastic. And and again, just so for anyone who's watching, you've seen a change in revenue from X to Y. What has it been?
25%.
Okay, 25%. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, in my industry, it's huge. So when you're buying and selling $10,000 cars all day long, taking it from 30 to 40 million, and then 40 to 50 million, and 50 to 60, and probably in 2012 we'll do 75 million. And the biggest thing, I think, is the Traffic Geyser, the Instant Customer. It's everything that I have applied through internet marketing, and I still have competitors putting quarter-page ads in the yellow pages.
And you're just killing them.
So I'm killing them.
And how about, so the obvious thing is, what's next? What are you planning on doing next with regards to using Instant Customer? And I I suppose you're going to have to see some of the new features to go, oh yeah, here's another thing that we can use. But do you have some ideas?
Well, actually I do. I'm thinking of putting all of the Traffic Geyser products and Instant Customer in my celebrity endorsed magazine, LA'sThePlace.com.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually working with a couple different PR firms, a couple different celebrity managers, and we're seeing the same thing they are. We're seeing a big transition and a continual transition, everything going online and everything going mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the future holds to me is basically taking what I've done successfully in my car buying service, implementing it into my celebrity endorsed magazine, and then I think there's a lot of very creative ideas we can do with product endorsements, and product reviews are huge. I mean, if you notice on the new Google Instant, for instance, Google Instant has review plugged in across the board on all products. So you start typing in a product, that word review pops down. So we're looking at pumping out product reviews and so forth, and implementing the text program in different forms we'll have. So we're very excited.
Okay. Well, I think one of the things that you'll see throughout, this webcast that we're doing are, we'll be providing people with more ideas on how they can use the tool and the resources. So I think one of the things that you could probably experiment with is using some of the interactive parts of the text messaging, because I think what you're doing right now is genius, which is getting them to raise their hands and make the call, so you're never chasing.
Right,
okay?
right.
That's the biggest thing that kills most businesses is chasing bad leads or tire kickers.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's definitely it. But if you can get them to react and respond and give you some direct responses, some answers, which is maybe after a period of time when they don't call, if there's some feedback mechanism, so tell me what's happened.
Right,
okay?
right.
So if you can learn more, you can gather more data, it's going to help you be able to generate some more information, as well as if you've got their email too, you can drip some videos that would help strengthen the bond about why you want to do business with them. So you could accelerate the, because really what you're doing here is, it seems to me you've given them a quote. Their reaction at first might be, well, that's too low. I think I can get more somewhere else. Time goes on, they find out how hard it is to move a car.
Exactly.
So that's where your margin comes from, is down here.
Right, right.
So maybe you could shorten that process. Instead of it being 21 or 14 days, maybe you can make more money faster.
Interesting.
And that would be an interesting conversation to have, is what kind of video content would convince someone
to move faster.
Yes, and it might come down to statistics. Here's the reality. If you're trying to sell your own car, here's what can happen. Here's what typically happens. Here's how you might get screwed. Here's some myths. Here's the illusion you might have right now. So convince them, shorten that cycle. You can make more money faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to money, less speed.
That's right.
So, but again, it's just like, what I love is, when we built this thing, and this is what we always see, client and customers, we don't even know all the ways that our tools can be used. We're always blown away, and if you go back to what happened with Main Street Marketing Machines, our original implementation of it was called Firepower. We did a test, and it just came from, we noticed there were a whole bunch of people, consultants, doing video marketing for other local businesses. We just interviewed a bunch, and we're like, we found out what all they had in terms of common problems, which was having proposals, having the legal, how much should I charge? So we just standardized that process. And I think inside of this, one other question to ask yourself, where I'm jumping around, is what you've figured out could probably apply to other businesses, and there's a licensing opportunity there. So there's so many ways you can take your know-how and your knowledge and your experience here and sell that in other places and just get money without having to do any implementation or work. So genius idea. I congratulate you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so is there anything else that you want to leave this with, other than definitely check out LA'sThePlace.com. You see some of Derek's work, and part of the reason why Derek's here today is he and his interviewer, Jeff, were with me today, and came here to interview me for some content that you're putting on the site. But why don't you talk just a little bit about that, do a little plug for LA's The Place, I'll send you some traffic.
Okay. LA's The Place is celebrity endorsed, as you know. We pretty much cover any Hollywood celebrity event. We cover all the new movies coming out, cover all the Beverly Hills restaurants. We have lots of Hollywood PR firms that kind of chase us down, and we recently interviewed Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, had Jessica Alba a couple times, and Mike Koenigs.
Yeah,
so
all these celebrities.
Yeah, we just keep moving up.
I'll tell you, it's out of control.
So basically, our business model for LA's the Place is we're doing a lot of really interesting video advertising, and Traffic Geyser plays a part into it.
That's great.
We're going to expand our product reviews, which I think is going to be huge.
I think it's brilliant, yeah.
We're going to implement the text program. So pretty much everything that you came up with, we're going to slowly implement into lastheplace.com.
That's great. Well, I think you'll love some of the new stuff that we've got cooking. So I'll reveal some of that to you off camera.
Okay.
Because you've been amazing. You know, I mean, the reason why you're so successful is you're an implementer. You know,
Yeah.
so you don't sit around and talk about it. You actually sat down and it's like, okay, I see this. I see the potential. Who do I need to know to get this done? You went to John. Obviously, he did the implementation. You understand your business model and what you needed. So just that combination, had it done, like you said, in about a week.
Yeah.
Turn it around, you're making money in a week, which is great.
Yeah.
And now it's just a matter of, like any business, it's like refine that funnel.
Refine it,
right?
exactly.
So now my challenge for you, my challenge for John is let's shorten that sales cycle. And I'd love to hear in 90 days what if you shaved 5 days off of that and do a little math and see how much more revenue could you make.
Could be a lot.
Or if the other thing that you could do is find a way, with integrity to communicate some of the, do some myth busting with some videos and storytelling and statistics, so they're more likely to basically, I guess you can get, the end result is you'll be able to buy the product for cheaper, faster.
Right.
And I assume on the backside that's hard to control because the auto auctions are what they are. For you, it's just a distribution mechanism.
Exactly.
But that way you're sitting on the money, you're sitting on the inventory, for less time. But that's pretty interesting. I love it. So
yeah, the business model for my business is just phenomenal. So it's foolproof. Actually, a funny note: a Traffic Geyser video that I did was pumped out, and a producer for Donald Trump's Apprentice saw it. And it's now gone on for 6 months, but I've now been picked to star in a reality show on a mobile car buying service.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's we're in contract agreements right now, so it'd be interesting.
So basically what you've been able to do is use the model, implement rapidly, make money while you're doing it, leverage resources so you didn't have to do all the work by finding a guy like John Barrett, who's a certified Monster follow-up and now instant customer professional. And get a TV deal. So your personal value, and I talk about this a lot. It's like how do you do it? Well, you have to have a platform. So LA's the Place is a platform, not just for you, but now if you can show that you've got traffic and visibility, now you've got leverage with Hollywood.
Exactly.
Now you're in a position where when you, let's say, have a show or a program, you can go out to them and say, let's do a little exchange. You can basically, that is currency to you, being able to have distribution and syndication. So, I mean, you're really escalating yourself and putting yourself in the catbird seat here. And the nice thing, again, this is just me looking at it, you've got your car buying service, which is an income generator, which essentially to some degree is running on autopilot. Got a nice system, a blueprint. Over here you've got your fun project, LA's the Place, which is escalating your personal brand, your personal value, and giving you access, which is, I always say, access is bigger and better than money. Because if you're one phone call away from any experience, because what's money going to buy anyway?
Exactly.
It either buys you access, which is temporary, but when you have access due to the ability to have a platform, a distribution platform, it's so much more valuable. It's repeatable, replicable. Who's going to take it away from you?
Exactly.
So, well, congratulations. I mean, you're a model not just for Instant Customer, but for Traffic Geyser, and also just thinking like a properly leveraged entrepreneur, which is to have a money-making system on the side that in itself has massive equity. I assume at some point you'll be able to turn that around and sell it.
Easy.
It's just a math problem, right?
Yeah.
And then over here, LA's the Place. That could give you a long-term legacy, not to mention direct access to the Hollywood community. So. Diddly ding. All right. Well,
you did
it.
Thank you, Mike.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. So, well, do what Derek does. That's all I got to say. And let's get back to the rest of the webcast here. And I know you're going to hear some more from some of our other heroes like Derek, who are just real implementers who are really transforming their own businesses, but also his life as well. You can see what's happened with the reality TV show deal. Big thing.
Yeah, huge.
Congratulations.
Huge. Thank you.
All right, let's go back.